everyone, so today we are going to be doing a blush declutter. I've been talking about doing this for so long because I just feel like I have too many blushes that I just don't absolutely love, and I keep reaching for the same ones over and over and over and over. So I really don't need all of this because, like I said, there's a lot of just like mediocre blushes that I never reach for because I just don't love them. So I think we should just get into this. I'm gonna try to get rid of quite a bit here, but I mean, looking at these, I can already tell that it's going to be kind of hard to declutter, even though I said that a lot of these aren't like blushes that I absolutely love. I still don't hate any of these. So let's start off with this Hourglass blush quad. This is the one that was from the holiday collection this year. Honestly, I don't really love the colors in this, so I actually think that I might give this away to someone because it has barely been used and I feel like someone else is going to love this way more than I do. I don't know, there's just something about like the undertones of these blushes that I just don't find to work that well for me. It's just not the kind of colors that I reach for, and I didn't know that until I tried them because like the marbling on these makes them look, I don't know, like it's just hard to really see what the colors are going to be like. So I'm actually going to declutter this. I do love the formula of the Hourglass blushes, but like this quad and these colors just honestly didn't do it for me, and every time I look at this I just feel bad because I spent a lot of money on it and I don't use it, and I would rather this go to another home that's going to get more love out of it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this. So I'm just going to grab from the top here. I'm also going to declutter this one. This is from the Balm. I don't know. I just never reach for it, you guys. Like it's hard to really explain why I don't reach for something, but I think it's also just because it's like it's really, really small, and it's also just kind of cheap feeling, and I don't know. I'm just not really all about this blush. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it just because I want to try to make up more room here. Let's see. This is the Benefit Gold Rush. I'm also going to declutter this one because it's simply just too light for me to really be a blush. Like I can use this as a blush topper if I want to tone down a blush that I've gotten overboard with, but that rarely happens. So I'm just not going to hang on to this. So far we're off to a very good start here because I just need to make some more room in my blush drawer because it's getting quite heavy, and I have like plastic drawers. Like this is what I store them in. So yeah, I just can't have my drawers be like so heavy that they're going to break, you know? So here's a Sephora collection blush. I don't know how I feel about this. Like this is not really a color that I ever wear. Like it's kind of like a lavender blush, and it just doesn't look that good on the skin. I do really like the formula on these blushes, but this color in particular, I don't think I've used it more than twice since I bought it. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one as well. I am gonna hang on to this one though. This is also from Sephora collection. I really like this color. It's a little bit light and subtle for me, but I can get away with using this in the winter. It's in the shade Love Child. I do really think that this is a beautiful blush, so I am gonna hang on to this one just for another round and just see what happens. Here's another blush that I think I'm going to declutter. This is one of the MAC, what are you called? Extra Dimension blushes. I love the formula on this one as well, but the color is just, I don't know. I don't love this when I use it, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this to someone else as well. I mean, I don't know. I need to just like be rough with this because I don't want to end up keeping things that I just don't love. So here's one of the Anna Sui blushes. I really, really like all of these, so I'm gonna go ahead and hang on to them. This is my favorite of all time. This is in the shade 301. I think this is beautiful. I did get these sent to me in PR, which I'm so grateful for. So I'm gonna go ahead and hang on to that one. I'm also going to hang on to the 400, which is the cream blush. So this is absolutely beautiful too. It's like a black cream blush. Like you see when I swatch it, like it turns into like a pink. I know it looks kind of dirty on my finger, like it's not the best way to really show it, but when you put it on the skin, it just like melts into your skin and creates this beautiful kind of baby pink shade. It's beautiful. I love the formula, I love the color. I've been really liking that, so I'm definitely going to keep that. I'm also going to keep the 401, which is kind of like a darker blush, and I don't use this as often. This is more of a summer blush for me because it is quite dark, but I do still really like it, so I'm going to go ahead and hang on to that one. Let's see, what do I want to do about this Butter blush from Physicians Formula? I used to really love this, but it's just a little bit too light for what I normally go for these days, and I also don't really reach for like the very light baby pink blushes. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one as well, just because I know that I have so many blushes here that I love and I just reach for every day. I'm gonna go ahead and keep all of my Lancome blushes. I did get sent all of these through Octoly, and I think that they are freaking fantastic. Like these are the reason why I'm doing this declutter. Like these, along with some of these other ones, is the reason alone why I'm doing this declutter, because I just think that these are so beautiful. So I will show them to you if you haven't seen them. This is in the shade 356 Blush For You. This is one of my favorites. I love this color. Like, this is kind of similar to the Physicians Formula one, but it's a little bit darker, so it doesn't look as like kind of ashy, I guess, on the skin. So love this one. Then next up we have number 280. This one is called Mocha Havana. This is kind of like a brown neutrally blush. Like, I was surprised that I was able to make this work because I didn't think that this color would look that great on me, but I really like this. So like I said, gonna go ahead and keep all of these, but I do just want to show them. So the next one is called Smile and Blush. This is 363. Another one of my favorites. As you can see, I basically don't have anything left on the pattern on the rose here because I've been using it so much since I got this. Next up we have Rose Liberté. I love this one as well. It's just such an easy, very wearable blush, and it's very flattering, and I feel like a lot of people would really love this. It's not super intense and in your face, and it's just easy to wear with like all kinds of different looks. So I love this so much. And then lastly we have the Keep Calm and Blush. This is the 473. It's the darkest of the bunch, but honestly, like, this one works so well too, and I don't know how they do it. I think it's just because it is kind of like a subtle formula, but it builds very nicely. So if I'm very light-handed with this, I can absolutely make this work. Now, here's the thing that I got in the, I got this when I was at the influencer event in LA. This was like a white elephant gift thingy that I got, and it's one of the Tarte like blush trios, and I really like this. I actually ended up getting like the set with 3 of these, and I haven't tried the other 2, but I did bring this to Norway to test it out, and I think that this is beautiful. Again, this is a very wearable trio, if you will. Like, I feel like it's very subtle, but it's still impactful at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense, but I really like this, so I'm definitely gonna go ahead and hold on to this one. I'm also going to keep my blush stick from ColourPop. I think that these are awesome. Like, I love wearing this as my cream blush and then layer something else on top. Absolutely been loving this. Also going to keep this one. This is the Emile Cordon. This is like a lip and cheek duo, I guess you can call it. It's like it's kind of like a lip balm, but like, I don't know, you can use this as a blush as well. And I love these. I think I have 2 of them here, so I'm going to keep both of these. I think that these are amazing. I did get these sent in PR as well. And another thing that I did get sent in PR by Octoly, or through Octoly I should say, is this Kevyn Aucoin blush. I really like this, and I've been using this quite a bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and hang on to this one as well. And I do think I'm gonna let go of this Sigma blush. This is in the shade Aura Powder, Sigma Pink Aura Powder. I don't know why I bought this. I think I expected it to not be as pigmented as it is, but this is basically a pink eyeshadow, and I just know that I'm never going to reach for this, so I'm gonna give this away to someone. I am going to keep this one from BH Cosmetics. This one is called Fiji. This is a beautiful blush. It's very pigmented, so I do have to be light-handed with this, but I've been reaching for it here and there, and I think it's a good blush. Here's a blush that I got from Focalor. I did get this in PR. This is supposed to be like a dupe for the Kevyn Aucoin blush, but since I have the Kevyn Aucoin blush and this one is just a little bit too light and too subtle for me, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this, but I do think the formula on this is really nice, and I did enjoy it when I used it, but it's just never going to be like on top of the blush pile of blushes that I want to use, so for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and give this to someone else as well. I'm also going to get rid of this Laura Mercier blush. This is in the shade Tropic Hues. This one says it's a sample, not for sale, so I'm thinking I got this in a BoxyCharm last year when I was still subscribed to them. I don't know. I just don't really like baked blushes. I think that the color of this is really nice, and like, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I don't like this, but I just don't, and I find the compact to be kind of bulky and just like cheap feeling for, you know, for the brand that it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this away as well. I am going to keep this one. This is the Serafina blush by Juvia's Place. I wish that this was not limited edition because I feel like this has gotten discontinued and it's one of my favorite blushes, which is really sad because it makes me not want to use it as much anymore when I know that you guys can't get it, but I'm definitely gonna go ahead and hold on to this one because I love this. This one I'm going to declutter. This is from Cargo. This is also something that I got in my BoxyCharm last year, and I just didn't really like this. I thought that this was too pigmented, and it's rare for me to say that about a blush, and I also think that this packaging is kind of annoying, so I don't like that. I'm also gonna go ahead and declutter this one. This is from Honest Beauty, and this is a cream blush, and I don't know, the color of this is just not really my thing. I don't know why I bought this, so hopefully someone else is going to like this more than I do. Oh, and also please don't ask me to send you anything because I won't. Next up we have a Super Shock Cheek from ColourPop. This is in the shade Birthday Suit. I don't know, I just have a hard time with like these blushes from ColourPop. I think it's just because of this color is very light and very subtle, and it's kind of hard to pick up on a brush, and like, I don't know, if I'm gonna put this on top of powder, I feel like I just need to use so much pressure to like apply this that sometimes my foundation lifts a little bit, and I don't like that about it. And it's also not creamy enough that I can use it like as a cream blush. I don't know, I just don't like this formula for blushes from ColourPop, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. This is something that I really just put in my drawer because I didn't have anywhere else to put it. This is from Bitterlace Beauty. They threw this in when I made an order for their highlighters, and I don't even know what this is. Like, what am I supposed to use this for? Like, this is just weird. Like, I guess it's an eyeshadow, but like, I'm never going to use this, and like the way it's set up, it's just messy. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. Like I said, I know it's not a blush, but I just threw it in here because it didn't fit anywhere else. So next up we have a small mini blush from NARS. This is in the shade Golu. I really don't know. I don't know, I like the color of this, but I find that it's just so small that it gets lost in my collection and I forget to use it. So for that reason alone, I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter it because I just know that I won't reach for it. And the same goes for this one. This is from Becca. It's supposed to be one of their highlighters, and I've kind of been using it as a blush topper, but like, I don't know, I don't use it enough, so I think someone else is going to get better use out of this. It's in the shade of Rose Gold. Next up, let's do my Cover FX blushes. Obviously, I'm going to keep both of these because these are my true loves. I just cannot get enough of these. These, along with the Lancome blushes, like I said, are the reason why I wanted to do this declutter, because it will make me feel less bad about using them all the time, because I feel bad when I neglect some of my collection that I know I like, but if it's just like out of my collection, I won't feel as bad anymore. So these are the two that I have. I love them. This one is in the shade Mojave Mauve, and this one is Pink Dahlia. Love both of these. It's probably one of my best purchases of 2019, and I want more of these. I want them to come out with like a giant range of shades because I just think that these are wonderful. This one I'm a little bit torn by. This is the Natasha Denona Diamond and Glow. I don't use this as much as I probably should, but since it is so small, and I mean, I did pay for it myself, so I'd kind of feel bad for decluttering it because I did buy this assuming that I would love it, but I just haven't played around with it enough to really get a good enough idea of whether or not I like it, because I don't love this highlighter. Like, it's very, very glittery, and I find that it's one of those things that I need to like spray for it to stick on my face, and it's a step that I don't always do, but it is beautiful. So I am going to try to get more use out of this and just really make up my mind on this and see if I want this in my collection for much longer. But as of right now, I'm kind of torn because I don't feel like I've gotten to know this enough, because it's a little bit too high maintenance for me to use. And also, like, I can't use this as a blush. This is more of a blush topper for me because it is very light. So I am gonna go ahead and hang on to this and just give it a little bit more love and make up my mind about it before I make any rash decisions. Now let's do this one. This is the Jeffree Star Regina George highlighter. This I got in a mystery bag like last year. I think it was the Valentine's one. So obviously this is just a very, very pink shimmery blush. I'm gonna declutter this, not because I think it's bad. It's just, I don't know, I just don't ever reach for it, and it's kind of big. It takes up a lot of room, and I don't know. I'll give this to someone who might get use out of it. This is a blush from Hourglass. This is the Mood Exposure blush. I do really like this. I think this is a beautiful kind of mauve blush, and it's very unique to my collection, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. I do think I'm gonna declutter the next one. This one is from Clinique. I got this at an outlet here in Vegas a while ago, and this is just not really the best color for me. This is in the shade Black Honey Pop. And I don't know, I just don't feel like this is like super flattering on me, and I do think that a lot of people would love this more than me, so I'm gonna go ahead and hand this to someone who's going to love this more than I do. I'm also going to declutter my Flower Beauty blush. I just don't really like this. I don't really like very light blush toppers. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I know a lot of people love these, but I'm just not really a fan, and I just know I'm not going to use this. This is in the shade Warm Hibiscus. It's not a bad formula at all. It's just a color that I just don't really jive with, so I'm gonna declutter this one. I am going to keep this one though. This one is California by Benefit. It's one of the only kind of like corally peachy blushes that I have, and for that reason it's very unique to my blush collection, and I do really like the formula on this too, so I'm definitely going to keep this. I'm also going to keep my Juvia palette. I don't love this, honestly. It's just because the shades are a little bit too light for me, like even in the winter, but I do think the formula is really nice, and I have been using it in the past couple of months now that I am like at my palest. I find that these work. This one is still a little bit too light for me, but I can definitely get away with using this one. So I'm gonna hang on to this for a little bit longer, but I don't expect this to make it through my next declutter, but it is going to get a pass this time around. Now let's talk about my blush palettes. I'm probably going to keep all of these except for one. This is my Morphe palette in the shade Pop of Coral. I love this. I've talked about this in the past. This was one of my favorite blushes in 2018, I think, and I've been using it in 2019 as well, and I think this is a fantastic palette. The one that I'm going to declutter is this blush palette from Kix. I bought this when I was in Norway, I think 2 years ago or so, and I think it's okay, but it's one of those things that since this is a product that is not available like in the States and stuff, I find myself not using it because I know that I would rather use something that I know that you guys can buy if you're asking what I'm wearing. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this to someone. It's actually a really nice palette, and I think that a lot of people would love this. Now for the last three here, I'm going to keep all of them. This is the Morphe palette in 8C, which is the Cool Tone blush palette. I think this is wonderful. I have no reason to get rid of this. I'm also going to keep my 8W palette, which is the Warm palette. Like I said, I think that the Morphe blushes are really, really nice, and I'm also going to keep my Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette. I want to get more use out of this. This is another reason why I'm doing this declutter, so that I can focus more on the things that I really, really like. And I just love Natasha Denona's face products. Like, okay, here's what I mean. I really like the formula on her face products. I don't always get along with the colors, but this one in particular is wonderful. And I feel like I've given this more love in the past year, and I've really grown to love it. And I really like the cream blush in here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one as well. So I think we did pretty good here. So let me do a little bit of a tally here and see how many we ended up decluttering and how many I ended up keeping. So for the items that I ended up decluttering, it ended up being 19. Now let's count the ones that I ended up keeping, because I feel like that number is going to be a little bit higher, but really not by much. So I think I did a pretty good job here today. Okay, so we have 26 blushes. I count the blush palettes as one because it's one item. So 19 to 26, I mean, I almost got rid of half of my blushes, which I'm really, really happy about. And it just means that I can give all of these blushes that I love the love that they deserve and not have to worry about the ones that I kind of, you know, am on the fence on. Oh, actually, this one is supposed to be here. I don't know what happened to that one. I'm looking at my pile. I'm like, what are you doing over there? Okay, so it ended up being 18 to 27, but still, I still feel like that is a really, really good number, and I'm very happy with that. I'm very proud of being able to just get rid of some stuff that I've kind of like, I don't know, felt guilty about keeping, but also felt guilty about decluttering. So this is where we're at. I'm happy to start off the new year with like less blushes and just being able to use what I love a little bit more. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed yet another declutter. If you want to see some other declutters that I did last year, I will pop a few up on the screen. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!